Top of the morning, good people. W Innocence with your boy E-Dub here. Well, there ain't nothing new that I can really tell you guys that you guys haven't already heard before. I mean, the biggest news right now on the internet is P. Diddy. Did he or did he not? That is the question. And really and truly, I was going to kind of stay away from it because of the mere fact of the matter that I didn't think there was anything more that I could add to what's already out there. And there had been a few people that had asked me if I'd seen what happened with P. Diddy and stuff like that. So what I'm about to do right now is I'm just going to give you my personal opinion on the whole ordeal. I think P. Diddy is a trifling piece of, I've said that up here before. The way in which he conducts his life and stuff like that, it's nothing that I would ever want to surround myself with or be around. That being said, I personally believe that this is a witch hunt. For whatever reason it is, this is a witch hunt. Because in all my years of living, I've never heard of a freak-off party being a crime. I've never heard somebody being charged for a freak-off party. They also hit him with a lot of different charges, like, allegedly or whatever, allegedly trafficking and stuff like that, where, understand one thing. Trafficking of women I have absolutely no tolerance for, because I'm a man that has a daughter and I also have granddaughters. So that's something that really and truly, I'm not a part of all that nonsense. But they're trying to paint a worse picture of the individual than it really is. I mean, as far as I know, agents that are trying to get players to sign with them, music labels, possibly film companies or directors or whatever the case may be. All of them try to entice you into being part of their product, whatever it is that they're pushing. All of them try that. So if you, let's say you're an athlete and you're there's a Clutch Sports that wants to sign you, they're going to try and woo you. And when I say they're going to try and woo you, they're going to bring you to the finest restaurants. They're going to introduce and fix you up with some of the finest women that there are out there. Is that trafficking? We got to make sure we understand exactly what trafficking is before we start accusing people of actually doing that. As far as my full understanding of what trafficking really is when you force somebody, when you force them, may it be by physical force or by threats or whatever it may be, to leave wherever they are and go to another state, another country, another county, whatever it may be, and force them to commit certain actions with another individual. That is what I consider trafficking. Not when you open the door and introduce two consenting adults and whatever happens from there happens. How is that trafficking? That's my question on the whole ordeal. Again, Remember, we're talking about P. Diddy, who's an individual that I have zero respect for in the way in which he conducted his life. I'm not trying to say that I put myself on any kind of pedestal thinking I'm any better than he is. I'm just saying that that's just not my cup of tea, period. But here it is, man. And the thing of the matter is, when you guys are watching mainstream media, you got to pay attention to the way they're wording stuff. Because television is called television for a reason. It's there to tell a vision. So when you hear big networks using words as he was in charge of this entire organization, he was a trafficker. When you hear them throwing those type of words around, you have to understand that that's the beginning stage of the brainwashing, as far as I'm concerned, in my own personal opinion. Because the more and more you hear these words, try to listen to somebody painting a picture of somebody for 7 days straight. On the 8th day, you could close your eyes and see that picture. Tell me I'm wrong. If somebody's guilty of something, they're guilty. But I'm not an individual that like I told you before, I'm not an individual that just sits back and tries to pile on just because I can. Is P. Diddy a trifling individual? Absolutely. For the way in which he chose to berate men and stuff like that. That's why I think he's a trifling piece of you know what. But do I honestly think that he's guilty of all these crimes that they're trying to pin on him? No, I don't. And if he's as guilty as people are saying that he is, then like I said before, there's a hell of a lot more guilty people out there. And if this is really what it is supposed to be, there should be a hell of a lot more names coming out. A lot more popular figures. Because like I told you before, when P. Diddy was having these quote-unquote freak-off parties, it takes more than one person in order for it to be a party, yes? There has to be participating individuals partaking in this in order to make it what they're calling it, a freak-off party. Now, allegedly, apparently, with all the stuff that are on the cassettes and stuff like that, you see a lot of what they're talking about, a lot of the freaks and a lot of the offs, but it doesn't really look like anybody's really being forced to do anything they don't really want to partake in. So if it was okay for you to partake in it at that point in time, why all of a sudden do you have such a major league problem with it now? Why? The money ran out? Bottom line is, I'm not here trying to sway anybody in what opinion they should form on this entire situation. No. I'll leave that for the mainstream media and everybody else to do what they're doing where that's concerned. The only thing I could ask people to do is, if you guys are really going to follow this case, try to watch it objectively and come to your own opinion. That's all. Because I grew up understanding one thing, especially the United States used to push: innocent till proven guilty. Innocent till proven guilty. Does that not apply anymore in 2024? I mean, I know they say it, but with the way in which everybody's really coming out and attacking this individual, he's already guilty. The agenda they're pushing is a guilty agenda. So what opinion do you think that the mass is going to form? Now, if by chance any of what they're accusing him of is true, well then I think P. Diddy should fry like the egg he is. But the only thing I ask is if you're going to make sure you hold him to the cross, everybody else that was involved in this entire scenario, they got to be held to the same standards, as far as I'm concerned. Because we're not gonna demonize him and make him look like he's the worst individual out here when there was other participants that took part in all of this. Plain and simple. Let's make sure we distribute the shame evenly across the board. Now, for other stuff such as, allegedly, apparently they found guns with serial numbers filed off of them. They found drugs. That's a different story for a different day. If that actually happens, if that actually happened, the way in which they're saying it happened, if he has to pay the price for that, he has to pay the price for that. But don't waste my time telling me about the excessive amount of baby oil he had in his apartment or his house, or the excessive amount of KY jelly he had in his house. That's not a crime. It's weird activity, but it's not a crime. It's not a crime. I'm going to say it one more time. That is not a crime. And the main reason why anybody would be focusing on those aspects of it is because of the mere fact of the matter that, yes, they want to paint a picture of this individual. That's all there is to it. They want to paint a picture of the type of individual we're talking about and dealing with. I mean, and the only people that you're really surprising with any of making P. Diddy look the way he looks, like a weirdo or a freak, is us. Modern, everyday people that are not accustomed to this type of lifestyle. You think anybody in Hollywood is looking at this guy any different? No? Okay, it's P. Diddy. Okay. He's a bit of a weirdo and he got caught for his activity. Oh, well, whatever. What's weird to us is a part of everyday life. To all those individuals that have excess money. And we need to remember that. Let's try and keep it within the realm of everything. Let's try and keep it within the realm of everything. P. Diddy's an individual, a trifling individual that lives a lifestyle that a lot of us would not partake in. But remember one thing, there's a lot of other individuals that will partake in that type of activity. Different strokes for different folks. We're just going to have to sit back and see how this is going to pan out. We're just going to have to sit back and see exactly how guilty P. Diddy is. And pray that they're giving us accurate information. That everything is not being blown up in order to make an individual look exactly how they want that individual to look. I need you guys to share. I need you guys to like and subscribe. Help this channel grow. Double Innocence with your boy E-Dub is out. Happy Hump Day, people.